Every time a boy came home from school, he was covered in red markings. She clutched the wheel till her knuckles went white as she drove him home. She made an effort to hide her distress from her son. She politely requested that he show her his arm when they arrived home. As he raised his sleeve, his gaze fell to the floor, and there it was, as obvious as day. This was going to cost whomever did it. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Before selecting Desert Cove Elementary, Tara Chavez had investigated every school in the Phoenix region. She wanted to be sure that her delicate son, Caden, would receive the appropriate treatment. Desert Cove Elementary looked like the ideal fit because of its well-sized classes and emphasis on the welfare of the kids. Satisfied that her kid would fit well at the school, Tara completed the necessary papers and registered him right away. Little did she know, the school was about to do something that would make her deeply regret her decision and stir uproar online. Before long, other parents would also be speaking out. Everything appeared to be going well at the school after a full term, until it abruptly stopped. Little Caden excelled in his academics, acquired many new friends, and enjoyed all his instructors. But as Tara and her husband were about to find out, the teachers weren't the ones they needed to keep an eye on. Tara brought Caden up from school as usual, but she could tell something was very wrong by the look on his face. Her blood started to boil as soon as her mind turned to bullying. She calmed herself down and asked Caden how his day had gone. Now was the time to find out the truth. With a stiff, "Fine," Caden said, and went back to staring out the window. Tara gently inquired whether something had occurred at school, but he didn't answer. Understanding that he didn't want to talk about it, she decided to give him space and resume the issue later with her husband. Then she saw his arm had a startling mark. Tara strained to look at what was on her son's arm. She initially believed it to be dirt, but the more closely she examined it, the less she thought otherwise. She simply knew that Mark was the cause of her son's unhappiness today, and her correctness was about to be established. Tara's head was full with assumptions, but she chose to keep her eyes on the road and hold on to the wheel until her knuckles grew white, rather than insisting that Caden show her his arm. She made an effort to hide her anger from Caden. This was going to cost whomever did it. Tara stopped Caden from going straight to his room when they got home. After calling her husband, she brought out a chair and beckoned Caden to sit down. Her husband playfully seized Caden and positioned him on the chair. Tara begged him to show them his arm. Lifting up his sleeve, he looked down and saw it. It was obvious what the school had done to him. I inquired if he was given an option, and he responded no. "She just grabbed my wrist and slapped the stamp on," the angry mom explained in an interview. He hadn't scribbled on his own arm, but the mark was ink. His father peered more closely until he could see the imprinted words. His eyes were extraordinary. Her spouse snapped a photo of Caden's arm right away. Tara remarked, "He was crying and screaming the whole time. He didn't even want me to take a picture of it because he was embarrassed." The words "lunch money" were imprinted on her son's arm in big blue capital letters. However, what did this mean? And who was responsible? It was, Caden clarified, the lunch lady. It seems that she had felt compelled to humiliate him in front of the whole school. His parents grew more irate the more they heard. What worried her the most was that the stamp made her kid feel so ashamed. Why didn't the school email her to inform her that her son's account was about to run low? Infuriated, they shared the event on social media. Was this correct? Soon after, Tara's post about the stamp became viral on the internet. It received hundreds of shares and comments quite soon. The majority of parents were encouraging, stating that Tara's rage was quite understandable. "You couldn't send a note, for example?" her companion inquired. "You guys couldn't even consider the multiple references to stigmatizing someone for a living?" Tara received a message from the school shortly after the post went viral. What were their personal opinions? Naturally, the officials of the institution disputed all of this. They pretended to be unaware of what was happening at their own school. They were forced to comment on the situation after being cornered by local media outlets demanding an interview. The irate parents sought answers, and all eyes were on the school's principal, Desert Cove. Principal Stacy Orris noted that cafeteria workers had never intended to humiliate children with reminder stamps, and that they were always required to ask students if they wanted a stamp or a reminder slip. However, neither Tara nor the other parents, nor anybody on her side, were satisfied with that response. Desert Cove Elementary didn't look good, to be sure. Many parents chose to support the family, stating that Tara's response was quite understandable. They wanted the reminder stamps removed, that much was certain. The school was compelled to issue an official statement on the subject the following Monday. Paradise Valley Unified School District spokesperson Becky Kelbach sought to clarify, "It was never the intention of Desert Cove Elementary School administration and staff to embarrass any student by using the stamp," she said. What, therefore, were they going to do? She went on, "Students could choose between a reminder stamp and a letter. Going forward, parents will receive a letter from Desert Cove Elementary School alerting them to low lunch balances. Additionally, Desert Cove will no longer issue reminder stamps regarding low lunch money accounts," she told the Phoenix New Times. But this isn't the first time this has happened. A similar stamp was found on the arm of John Bivens' third-grader son, who attends Gardendale Elementary School. John didn't give it much thought at first. "I thought it was a good job stamp," he stated. John's initial indifference swiftly transformed into rage when he looked more closely at his son's arm. Although John and his wife packed their son's lunch for school, they let him occasionally purchase sweets from the school cafeteria. The fact that his son's cafeteria account had a positive balance at the conclusion of the semester was what most infuriated John. At the time of the offending stamp, John's kids still had a balance of $38. "They herd these kids like cattle," the outraged dad added. He also alleged that his son was branded. He stated in an interview that it is unacceptable to start stamping a message on a child's body instead of calling. Then he noticed it was a stamp with the words, "I need lunch money." John was shocked, as the school always gave them a message when his son's account was running low. With this branding of children and causing them public humiliation in schools growing more and more widespread, parents are becoming increasingly outspoken on the topic. According to John, it's a form of bullying and shaming the kids. What are your thoughts? Do parents have the right to be incensed about this school branding system? Despite being in a wealthy neighborhood, only 32% of the students at Desert Cove Elementary School are eligible for free or reduced-price lunches. It is understandable why students who are experiencing low account balances might feel extremely embarrassed and ashamed when they are singled out in this way in front of their peers. Do you think this is fair? Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.